What's up fellow hunters, Nox here, welcome or welcome back. Today we're gonna talk Charge Blade. Comfortable sets, fun sets, meta sets. 6 builds for you guys and some tips on how to adjust them for yourself, coming up. One important thing before we jump in. Don't get discouraged by my talismans if you don't have a similar one. I'll show some easy to get talismans for each build that will get you all the essential skills. Let's go. We're gonna start off with something super underrated, Stopping Force. A build with the Rampage Charge Blade customized for paralysis. I hardly see anyone use this, and if done right, it's absolutely amazing. The trick behind using Charge Blades effectively for status is utilizing a move that does not get explained well in Rise, the Shield Thrust. When pressing X and A after any move in Sword mode, we do a Shield Thrust. Doesn't look like much, but this move has increased elemental and status output when the shield is charged. We can easily chain a few of these together to quickly trigger a status effect. You can get all of the essential skills for this build by using a talisman that only has 2 level 2 slots. Talismans with Bludgeoner are really common in general though. We customize the Rampage slots with Sharpness type 2, Paralysis 2, and Attack Surge. This gives us 220 attack, long green sharpness, which is perfect here, and minus 30% affinity, which won't bother us because we get our damage from files here. We get a huge flat damage boost from Attack Boost level 7, Bludgeoner, Artillery level 3, and Load Shells. Paralysis level 3 pushes it from 15 to 23. We also have a few guard skills and a bunch of room to fit in additional comfort skills, like flinch free, stun resistance, and speed sharpening. I also added affinity sliding because I had a slot left over. The combination of paralysis and impact files is really fun and satisfying to use. We can paralyze and KO monsters back to back, creating huge openings for the entire team to get in free damage. The Happy Hopper, a super fun axe hopper build with tons of customizing options. We're using the Tigrex blade. 220 attack, natural white sharpness, minus 15% affinity, a level 1 slot, and very important, Silkbind boost as Rampage skill. We have some affinity skills in here because our main damage comes from the big axe hopper hit itself. Then we have attack boost level 4, artillery level 3, and load shells to give a boost to our files as well. In addition to that, we have a bunch of extras that we can switch up however we like. But you can, for example, exchange the artillery decos for full protective polish or additional critical hit skills, if you want the focus to be on the axe hopper even more. A nice bonus is bringing palicos or palamutes with sleep weapons. You will do some nasty damage to sleeping monsters with this. And if you want more affinity, make sure to bring a fighter palico for the free 30% affinity from Rousing Roar. A talisman with 2 level 2 slots will get you all the essentials and still leaves room for customizing. Next up is the Payback, a heavy damage meta build that shines with counters. Weapon of choice is the much more mainstream Rajang Charge Blade. Massive 240 attack, long green sharpness, which works perfect for Bludgeoner, 16 thunder, and Dulling Strike as Rampage skill. This build hits like a truck. We have a huge stack of our base damage increasing skills, and then we have a bunch of skills that improve our guard, including Offensive Guard. If we time our guard correctly, Offensive Guard will increase our damage by 5% for each level for a short period of time, which gives our following discharge 15% more file damage. And I definitely need to mention that we should always be eating for Feline Bombardier at the canteen, for an extra 15% damage increase to impact files. Here's an example of what I often eat when hunting solo, but you can of course eat for whatever you like. We can also use the Diablo's Charge Blade with this, which has an extra level 3 slot but has negative affinity and a bit of blue sharpness. For the Talisman, anything like the examples on screen will get you all the essentials. You will only miss a few levels of attack boost, which isn't bad at all. Now we have a spinning slash build, the Buzzsaw. A heavy raw damage build using the Nargacuga Charge Blade. 198 attack, natural white sharpness, huge 40% affinity, and a level 2 slot. Unlike the previous builds, we don't use our files as damage source here, which is why the skill setup looks drastically different. We have maxed out attack boost, 90% affinity on weak spots, and max crit boost. Master's Touch and Speed Sharpening will make sure that we can easily maintain our white sharpness. If you prefer, you can simply exchange Master's Touch for Protective Polish. And we also have Max Rapid Morph, which isn't essential for a spinning axe playstyle, but makes things more fluid. It's all about heavy critical hits while the saw rips through the monster. The weapon having an impact file works really well here. The file explosions will be able to KO the monster and give us some extra openings to go in with the spinning axe. A talisman with 2 level 2 slots is all you need for the essentials. You will only lose 1 level of Rapid Morph, which is only a bonus anyway. Dragon Ripper. We're using the Valstrax Charge Blade. 188 attack due to Rampage boost, huge natural white sharpness, 35 dragon, and a level 2 slot. This build is absolutely stacked. It's one of the few elemental file charge blades that can outdamage impact types when used right. Attack boost level 4, max dragon attack, a big stack of our base critical skills, and we even get a level of critical element from our chest piece, which further increases the damage on our critical hits. We have Master's Touch, which keeps our sharpness at white pretty much the entire fight. Anything weak to dragon will get absolutely torn apart by this build. Similar to the Naga Charge Blade, you could use this with the full Valstrax armor, but in this case it will be far less consistent than this build here. A Talisman with 2 level 2 slots will get you all the essentials with dropping 1 level of Master's Touch or crit boost. There are a few other elemental charge blades that can beat impact options if the matchup is right, like the Zinogre and Ragnar Charge Blade for example. Now we have another one of my favorites, the Wall of Punishment. We're using the Rampage Charge Blade again, this time customized with Sharpness Type 2, Non-Elemental Boost, and Attack Surge. This gives us 240 attack, long green sharpness, and minus 30% affinity, which won't bother us. We have all our base damage increasing skills maxed out. Unlike the Rajang build we saw earlier, this has slightly less guard skills. Instead, we get 2 levels of Slugger, which allow us to really punish monsters if we aim for the head. Getting easy KOs with a super to the face is incredibly satisfying. We also have full offensive guard for that juicy 15% damage increase when guarding perfectly. In addition to that, we can also fit in some extra stun resistance. I often run this instead of the Rajang build online because the easier KOs benefit the entire team. But my favorite thing about this build is that we can change the weapon design to whatever we like. A Talisman like the examples right here will get you all the essentials. I recommend checking out the playlist in the top right if you want to see more builds. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.